Metamora is one. Metamora is one win away from a Mid-Illini conference title. To get it, they'll have to get through their bitter rival, the second place Washington Panthers. The Panthers have won 5 straight in the season series, but tonight the Redbirds have a chance for the last laugh in front of their loud home crowd. And with that, we welcome you to a sold-out Tepke Gymnasium alongside John Camosa. It's Larry Larson in with you. And John, both these teams enter this matchup red hot. Metamora's won 10 in a row. Washington has won 6 in a row. Both these teams are firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, and as you can hear the crowd behind us, it's going to be an electric atmosphere at Tepke Gymnasium here at Metamora. But
Metamora is one win away from a Mid-Illini conference title. To get it, and welcome live into Tepke Gymnasium. Apologies for a few technical difficulties there during the open, but we got you now. Again, the JV game ran a little bit long. Metamora came out on top of Washington, but John, moments away from tip-off, the excitement is palpable.
yeah, we got an electric crowd, sellout. Fans were here roughly 2.5 hours before the game to fill this gym up here at Tepke, so it's going to be a great game in store. The last time these two teams met, Washington came back late in that game to knock off Metamora, so you know the Redbirds are looking for a little revenge here tonight.
John, how about we take a look at tonight's keys to the game, first for the visitors in Washington, and it starts beyond the arc.
Yeah, you got to hit your threes. That proved to be big last time they beat Metamora at home. It's going to be crucial again tonight, especially with Metamora, how well they are defensively. So that's going to start with the Panthers. A lot of go-to guys that can shoot the three. Isaac Mapson likes to get out and shoot it, as well as Jake Stewart.
And then the second key for Washington, all eyes on all 5 for Metamora.
Yeah, on any given night, any of these 5 guys in the Metamora Redbirds roster can produce double figures. Got to start with Tyson Swanson and Ethan Kaiser. These guys are the vocal point for this team. And then you look at Zach Schroeder and Drew Tucker, a lot of different pieces on this team.
As for Metamora, all 4 quarters, Metamora kind of struggled as their starting lineup gets introduced right now. Metamora played 3 great quarters against Washington the last 2 times they've faced off, but couldn't finish in the 4th.
Yeah, it goes back to the last game they played Washington. And Larry, it really goes back to just a few days ago when they played Normal West. In Normal, they struggled in that game. For 3 quarters, they were trailing against Normal West, and then they came back late in the 4th, led by Tyson Swanson. And a good 27-point effort from him to really come back and win that game in a nail-biter. So Metamora is going to want to channel that energy here tonight and really close this one out in 4 quarters.
And the last one is simple for Metamora, box out.
Yeah, that's going to be crucial. Washington, a team that likes to bang on the board, so Metamora got to really box out down low with Isaac Mapson. Drew Lewis, he's a guard that can come flying in, get you a lot of rebounds any given night as well.
Starting lineup getting introduced for the Redbirds right now. Let's get it to you. It starts with Zach Schroeder, followed by Ethan Kaiser, Michael Zobrist, as well as Tyson Swanson and Drew Tucker. Those are the Redbirds. Here are the Panthers. It starts with Jake Stewart, Drew Lewis, Isaac Mapson, Jamari White, and Andrew Coker. John, a lot of experience on the floor for both sides.
Yeah, we're getting a new look lineup here. Metamora has been kind of transitioning between that 5th guy. We saw Jake Nalen in the lineup, then we saw Devin Dunn, and now Luke Kopp is in the lineup for Metamora.
Luke Kopp, the sophomore, just played in the sophomore game. Not in the starting lineup, but we might see him here in a little bit. Both student sections fired up. The stakes are high tonight at Tepke Gym. Metamora could win a conference title with a win, and they win the tip. Tucker into the front court, kicks back to Swanson. Now it's Zobrist with it, and he will set up the offense.
Yeah, it's my apologies, Larry. That is Matthew Zobrist. New look, we haven't seen him play the last few games for Metamora. Luke Kopp, a player off the bench, but see how they get a new look team out there with Zobrist.
Drew Tucker swings the left wing. Kaiser turns it over. Jake Stewart tiptoes the baseline, and the Panthers will have a chance to strike first.
Limiting turnovers is key, too, against this Washington Panthers defense. They took that to their advantage last time the two teams played.
Mapson on the inside, showing off the post moves and gets the Panthers on the board.
Really good start for Washington, making a statement here on the road, and Isaac Mapson, that's where he can be really effective, is inside.
Kaiser walks it up, guarded by Mapson. Tucker to the inside to Tyson Swanson. He's got 60 points in his last 2 games. Here he is in the post, fading away and blocked by Coker.
What a great defensive effort there from Coker. Another player to keep an eye on tonight.
Here's Drew Lewis, the senior star for Washington, orchestrating the offense. Jake Stewart, the junior now. Lewis, a multi-level scorer, can shoot it from back there, doesn't this time.
Washington's looking to control that tempo early.
Mapson downhill, can't finish that time.
Metamora looking to push the pace a little bit here.
Zobrist wide open, little too deep. 2 players get tied up. Here comes Lewis. Gets the roll on the botched dunk.
Could say he really wanted to get that crowd going on the Washington side. The students would have loved that one. Goes up there to soar for the dunk, but still going to go.
Metamora looking for a response, trailing early. Schroeder. Now Kaiser. Swanson lost the basketball, back into the hands of Zobrist.
Good job there by Zobrist, able to contain, keep the possession alive for Metamora.
Drew Tucker gets the Redbirds on the board.
As you mentioned, Larry, Drew Tucker, another guy to keep an eye on between him and Swanson. 2 guys that can really do it all offensively.
3 from the corner, White goes down. Everything going for Washington early.
Huge 3 there from White. We've seen him do that throughout the season. Had that big one against Morton for the win. He's a guy that can really light up a box score.
Schroeder, the senior leader for the Redbirds, finds Kaiser. Step back 3, got it. Ethan Kaiser getting going early.
Just as effective as he is down low, he can really step out and shoot it as well.
Coker lost it, but got it back. Drew Lewis with the reset. Mari White, back to Lewis. Metamora guarding closely. Lewis calls ISO and now hits White. Here comes Lewis, the runner, doesn't get the roll.
Good job there from Metamora, able to clog that lane. Force up a tough jumper there. Tough floater, I should say.
Metamora could take the lead with a 3 and tie it with a 2. Schroeder down on the inside. Swanson tied up. And possession favors the Panthers. And that takes us to our first mask timeout, and we'll take a break for a quick word from Uftring.
If you think you'll never find the car or truck you really want, think again. We'll find it so you can drive it at every Uftring Auto Group dealer. And this month, your tax refund is your down payment. It's easy to find it and drive it at every Uftring Auto Group dealer.
Welcome back into Metamora. Tonight's coverage of Mid-Illini Conference basketball is brought to you by Jake Weston State Farm in Washington. For all your insurance needs, give Jake a call, 309-444-4441. Also brought to you by Keps Sports Bar and Grill in Washington, right down the street from Washington Community High School. Great atmosphere, even better food, and a family-oriented atmosphere. Visit Keps at 313 Muller Road. Washington ahead early on their arch rival Metamora. Metamora could capture the Mid-Illini Conference title with a win. If Washington wins on the road, they keep their title hopes alive at least for a tie. Washington has won each of the last 5 matchups with their rival. Washington possession out of the break. And Drew Lewis will walk it up. I'm glad you're with us on your Friday night. No better way to spend it. It's two bitter rivals doing battle. Isaac Mapson with it. One of 3 seniors on the floor for the Panthers. Knocks down the mid-range Jay.
Isaac Mapson looking good early. Got that jumper dialed in. 4 points to pace the Panthers so far.
Drew Tucker turns it over into the hands of Andrew Coker. Mapson, the big fella, can shoot from out there. Instead backs down Kaiser. In some trouble. Finds Stewart. Drew Lewis calls for a screen. Stewart, deep 3, too much. Rebound into the hands of Tyson Swanson. Drew Tucker gets fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. It's called for the charge, excuse me. A late call on the baseline. And Tucker picks up the first foul of the contest.
Larry, we know anytime these two teams meet, defense is the focal point on both sides. Washington really doing a good job early, making that statement defensively with a couple turnovers here in early going.
Metamora bring the full court pressure early. Now they back it off. Isaac Mapson, the 6'6 senior, takes it up. Jake Stewart downtown, no one around. He's 0 for 2 early. Here comes Zach Schroeder. Right to the bucket, blocked by Lewis, but it's a goaltend.
Good effort there from Lewis. It's a little too late on that one. But man, can he get up for a guard. Really soars above the rim to get his hand on that one.
Lewis slows it down. Washington likes to run the slow and methodical pace. Mapson up top, back to Lewis. Open 3, you bet.
Drew Lewis really dialed in early for the Panthers. Metamora looking for a quick response here on this possession.
Tucker nearly has it poked away by White, and now White's called for the foul, and he can't believe it. John, you mentioned Drew Lewis. Perhaps most impressive about Lewis's season is he's still not healthy from a high ankle sprain that he suffered in Washington's first round playoff game. Played injured the whole month of December on one leg, according to head coach Eric Schermerhorn, and he's still going strong. Meanwhile, the Panthers get the ball back after another Metamora turnover. John, that's an early trend.
Yeah, going back to your point, Larry, knowing that information and still watching it, it's more impressive, but watching him play and not knowing of that injury from football season, you wouldn't even tell the difference.
Washington can double up the Redbirds on this possession. Look at Lewis. Back to Mapson. Gets by Kaiser. Blocked by Kaiser, but he finishes on the other side.
Nice job, little head fake there. Kaiser able to knock it out. Mapson Quick job of getting it back and putting it in.
Swanson. Schroeder's tray rattles in. Metamora needed that one. Back to a 4-point game.
Sure did, and I think everybody anticipating this game would be close. We're getting a back and forth first quarter as we expected.
Micah Brewer into the contest for Washington. Draped by Devin Dunn. He's in some trouble, and that's 5 seconds.
Chance for Metamora here with 30 seconds left in the first quarter. We'll see if they elect to hold for the last shot.
Of course, no shot clock in Illinois high school basketball. Under 20. Tyson Swanson with it. He's got 60 points in his last 2 games, and the Redbirds turn it over again. Mason got a bad pass, and it bounced into the backcourt. So now the Panthers have 9 1/10 to work with.
Yeah, not the turnover you wanted if your coach Danny Greaves and Metamora. Now Washington a chance to play for the last shot here to extend this lead to 6 or 7.
Stewart to Lewis. Against the logo, Mapson. Stewart gets it off and drains it. The junior puts an exclamation point on a big first quarter for the Panthers, and they enter the second leading by 7.
And Larry, a little deja vu if you're a Metamora Redbirds fan. Jake Stewart hitting the shot at the buzzer, going back to the last game where they beat Metamora there. But Washington making a statement early. Metamora looking to make some adjustments here in the second quarter, but we got a ball game.
And we will take this break to remind you of our great sponsors here tonight. First, Jake Weston State Farm in Washington. Like a good neighbor, Jake from State Farm is there for all your insurance needs. Call him up, 309-444-4441, or visit him online at jakewestoninsurance.com. Also brought to you by Kep's Sports Bar and Grill in Washington. Great atmosphere, superb food. You can watch all the big games on their flat screen TVs. Also hit the gaming machines if you'd like. Kep's, great food, great family atmosphere over in Washington. Thanks for joining us tonight on ClutchSportsIL.com. It's the penultimate Mid-Illini contest of the season for both these squads. Metamora at 22-6, 11-1 in the Mid-Illini. Washington 19-6 and 9-2 in the Mid-Illini Conference. Metamora clinches a conference title with a victory. There you see 10 wins in a row for the Redbirds, and the Panthers not too shabby either, 13-1 in their last 14. Metamora starts the second quarter with possession. Now set up the offense. Schroeder kicks out Mason. Now up top to Kaiser. And a foul called on the floor. A hold. This one's going to go against Drew Lewis. That's his first. Just a second team foul on Washington. One team foul against Metamora.
Yeah, clean defense so far. Able to force turnovers with not a whole lot of contact.
Schroeder looking for Mason and finds him. Mason again. Now it's Swanson in the post. Good ball movement for the Redbirds. Tucker drives, gets up near the rim, and gets fouled.
Great effort there, though, from Tucker. Able to slash inside 2 defenders, soar to the rim. Chance for Metamora to cut the lead here to 5 if he can knock both down.
Tucker with 2 points early. Too strong on the first. And John, in games like this, you know those free throws are going to count.
Yeah, they're crucial, especially going through all the years past that we've seen Metamora and Washington play. These games are always close and down to the wire, so free throws are going to be critical.
Tucker splits the pair.
It's a good bounce there off that one.
Mapson thought about walking it up, and indeed he will. And he traveled.
Hesitation, a little mental mistake there from Mapson. Just as we talked about free throws being crucial for both sides, turnovers just as important, trying to limit those throughout these quarters.
Zobrist and Tucker in the backcourt for the Redbirds. Zobrist just a freshman. A little too far to Swanson, gets it to Kaiser. Tucker dances on the dribble. Zobrist thought about the three, wants to drive, floats it up, and he'll go to the free throw line. John, that's one thing I've noticed early. Metamora has not shot a lot of threes. They've elected to try to get to the can more times than not.
Yeah, the Panthers doing a good job of really closing out on the perimeter. They're not allowing Metamora too many good looks, is where Metamora can really get going from three-point range. I think the Washington Panthers game plan there is to limit those.
That foul was on Lewis, so he checks out with 2. Braden Vanderheit comes into the contest. And the second rattles home for Zobrist.
Big spot there for the freshman in a rival game, able to knock both free throws down.
Timeout taken by Washington. Head coach Eric Schermerhorn wants to talk things over. 30-second timeout. First timeout taken by either side tonight. Student section's massive tonight, John. And one thing you mentioned, whenever you come to Tepke Gym, is the intimate atmosphere. You look around, the bleachers are not that big, and I think the student section is playing an even bigger role because of that.
Yeah, they do, and being a gym that's not as big as Washington as far as bleachers, you get a more of a compact feel there, so we're seeing more of a sellout crowd as opposed to we saw last game. Metamora played on the road at Washington, but the energy in this gym, it's electric, and both student section really fired up before the game even started here, ready to go for this one.
Mapson inbounds to Coker in the corner. As Panthers work on breaking the press. In case you're just joining us, they've led for most of this one. Jake Stewart into the paint. Ethan Kaiser says no way.
Talk about getting that student section fired up, and big plays will do that to you, and that was a massive block there from Kaiser to send that one away.
Brewer triggers it into Stewart. Brewer, a key bench piece for the Panthers, averages 5 points a game. Off to Stewart, who picks up 8 points a game and 3 assists.
Going back to your point, Larry, where Metamora was really being stifled there by Washington's defense on the perimeter. Metamora going to do the same here and not allow Washington a good look from 3.
Another 5-second violation. That's the second one that the Redbirds have forced.
Yeah, their defense is really doing a good job of face guard and able to allow those turnovers. Metamora looking to get back into it a little bit on this possession.
Tucker over the wing to Swanson. Zach Schroeder, one of the captains for the Redbirds. Zobrist feeds Swanson, and he was fouled. Those fouls starting to pile up for the Panthers. That one goes against Mapson, or rather Coker, his first, team's at 5th. Inbound goes to Schroeder. Can't get the touch, but Drew Tucker can.
And those second chance points are going to be big tonight as well. Tucker did a good job on that rebound, able to foul up the miss from Schroeder to put it in. Metamora cuts it to 2.
Tucker has 5. Redbirds on a bit of a run. Brewer needs to get rid of it, and another 5-second call.
How about that? And Larry, if my memory stands correctly, I don't think we've seen that many 5-second calls against Washington throughout this whole season. In a single game, that is. Metamora doing a really good job on defense early.
Redbirds with a chance to take their first lead of the contest. Tucker for the tie. Got it.
The momentum favoring the Redbirds now. Got right back into this game with that stellar defensive effort.
Tucker leads all scorers with 7. Mapson walks it up. Eric Schermerhorn told me this is a guy that can play all 5 positions. Dishes to Vanderheit. Almost had the and one against Schroeder. Instead, he'll have to earn him at the stripe.
Little up and under there with the left hand, but getting to that free throw line just as important. Chance for Vanderheit to put Washington back out front.
Vanderheit's first goes down with ease. I talked to Panthers head coach Eric Schermerhorn about Braden Vanderheit, and he's not a guy that's going to make a huge impact on the offensive end, but he's really made his presence felt on the defensive end. According to Coach Schermerhorn, he's become one of the team's best defenders. He splits a pair. Metamora hauls in the rebound.
He's definitely a do-it-all guy defensively. Older brother Devin Vanderheit stand out here for Washington last season. All those games we covered, but his brother a little bit opposite. Not a huge offensive threat, but more defensive.
Swanson draws the block call, and that one's against Vanderheit.
And as we saw right there, Larry, not a guy that's afraid to put himself on the floor to take a charge. Just can't get that one to go.
6th foul against the Panthers. Schroeder spins from the bucket and finishes. Schroeder's got 7. And Metamora has its first lead. Mapson shows off the handles. Floater, got it. That's a tough bucket.
Really tough shot there from Mapson, able to get that floater off in time. Back and forth for 2 quarters, though. No signs of either team slowing down.
Schroeder calls for the ball, works it around the horn. Swanson, now Tucker. From 17, off the heel. Offensive rebound, Schroeder, and he'll go to the stripe. That's one key that head coach Danny Greaves really keyed in on, John, was those offensive rebounds, and one pays off there. Schroeder will shoot 2 after our next break, sponsored by Uptrend.
We'll find it so you can drive it at every Uptrain Auto Group dealer. New inventory is in stock, inbound, and arriving every day. The pipeline is loaded with incoming inventory at every Uptrain location. Hundreds of customers have reserved theirs, and so can you at every Uptrain Auto Group dealer.
Welcome back inside Tepke Gymnasium. Boys basketball on Clutch Sports Media, brought to you by Jake Weston State Farm. For all your insurance needs, call up Jake at 309-444-4441 or visit his website, jakewestoninsurance.com. Also brought to you by Kep's Sports Bar and Grill in Washington. Great atmosphere, superb food, family-oriented. And watch all their big games, and heck, maybe even this one, over at 313 Muller Road in Washington. Fans over in Washington are probably pleased with this start. 20-19 in favor of the Panthers. They're looking to knock off the first place team in the Mid-Illini Conference. Washington just 1 game behind the Redbirds. If Metamora wins tonight, they capture their first Mid-Illini Conference title since 2018-2019.
Larry, I think anytime you can potentially beat your rival twice in the same season, something you really shoot for as a goal at the beginning of the year. Metamora not wanting that to happen tonight, try to seek some revenge here and get this win at home.
Washington's gotten the best of Metamora each of the last 5 matchups in this series. Schroeder's first goes down. These 2 teams, arch rivals, play a close game, it seems, almost every single time they get together. Schroeder up to 8 points, tied for the game high. Can't make it 9. The offensive rebound goes to Swanson. Dunn lost it in the paint, and Vanderheit comes out of the dog pile with it. Look at Mapson slicing and dicing. Stewart into the corner. Mapson in some trouble. Crowd wanted a 3-second call. Mapson will get another try. Lost it, but it'll stay here. And John, a name that we haven't seen make an appearance for Washington in a while. Bernie Wynn, freshman, into the contest.
It's two freshmen out there guarding each other, Matthew Zobrist and Bernie Wynn. Two guys that probably really stepped up in practice for both sides, able to earn that spot in the game tonight.
Wynn can't hit the runner, and Zobrist and Mapson get tied up. Possession favors the Panthers in a tied contest. .240 to go in the opening half. Wynn, the trigger man, gives it to Mapson. Drew Lewis on the bench with 2 fouls. Wynn turns it over to Kaiser for the flush.
Kaiser able to read that pass from Wynn over to Mapson. Swipe it away there for the big dunk. That'll get the students going.
Washington needs a response. Coker out to Wynn. Now Mapson slows it down. Mapson fouled by Kaiser. John, that has been a fun matchup to watch for the entire first half. Kaiser against Mapson. Mapson has the weight advantage, a little more meat on him, but Kaiser's done a pretty good job, all things considered.
Yeah, it was fun last time those two faced off against each other as well. Always a matchup where you're going to see both players give their all.
Micah Brewer in for Wynn, and he led Coker a little bit too far with the pass, and it's a turnover. Metamora can go up 2 possessions for the first time tonight with a bucket here. Tucker with the handles. Tucker with the slam.
How about that? Behind the back, able to blow through the defenders. Sends it home. Back-to-back dunks for the Redbirds to take a 4-point lead.
What a junior class that the Redbirds have. Kaiser, Swanson, Tucker, very deep. Washington looking for an answer now. Is it Braden Vanderheit? Not that time. Good defense from Schroeder. Swanson runs the floor.
Looking to extend this lead even more.
Look at Schroeder in the post. Wanted the foul, didn't get it. And now the officials are going to discuss something. I'm not sure what they're looking at here.
I think he's saying they didn't signal a call there, Larry, but they said it got tipped away. Almost looked like a double dribble, but I never saw an initial call on that play. They let it just play through.
Nearly an over and back. Washington can't believe it wasn't. Regardless, Metamora continues to set up the possession. Schroeder, no. Rebound to Vanderheit and a foul called against Metamora's Tyson Swanson.
Coach Eric Shermore not happy with those last 2 calls for Washington, but they're able to get it back here.
Drew Lewis comes back in playing with 2 fouls before the half. Panthers looking for a late first half surge. They led for the entire first quarter and much of the second before a Metamora run. It's given them a 4-point lead. Lewis has 5 points and he's going to hold. Panthers want the final shot. Drew Lewis averaging 15 points a game, getting Division I looks, offers from junior colleges and Division II schools. Redbird student section chanting boring Lewis to the bucket. Makes it look easy. Swanson, it's Tucker before the horn, and the bank is not open, but the Redbirds head to the locker room with a 2-point lead.
Tight game going into the break, just as we expected. It's going to be a close one here in the first half, and Metamora has a 2-point advantage, but Larry, what a game so far. Great defense on both sides, and offense really showing what they're made of.
Been quite the contest. You always expect a good one in this rivalry. At the break, it's Metamora 24, Washington 22. Tonight's coverage is brought to you by Jake Weston Insurance. Jake Weston State Farm over in Washington. Visit him online at jakewestoninsurance.com. Also brought to you by Kep Sports Bar and Grill over at 313 Muller Road in Washington. Give them a call at 309-444-1974 to get your spots. We'll step aside for a break. We'll be back to set up the second half here in about 13 minutes or so. You're watching Mid-Illini basketball on Clutch Sports Media. Welcome back inside Tepke Gymnasium in Metamora, Illinois, where the Redbirds have a 2-point lead over their arch rival, the Washington Panthers. Metamora playing for a Mid-Illini Conference title tonight. But John, we'll talk about the regional brackets, as we had a graphic built for it, but in all honesty, the seeds are wrong on it. Metamora earned the #1 overall seed. I guess we'll take a look at it anyways. Metamora is the #1 overall seed. Peoria Notre Dame is the 2nd overall seed in the Bradley subsectional. You see Washington down there at the 4 spot. Metamora and Washington in the same regional over at Richwoods, and they'll be in different semifinals. So this could be a preview of a regional championship game tonight.
Yeah, and with this atmosphere, it feels like a regional championship style atmosphere, but if Metamora comes out on top and ties this series at 1 apiece this season, or if Washington gains the upper hand in the second half and is able to sweep the series, we could see these two teams meet up again in the postseason if they both reach that championship game. So that'd be another intriguing matchup to keep your eye on. And then Notre Dame there at that 2 seed, if they could potentially run in to Washington, Peoria High, Galesburg, or Metamora down the road. That's another one that could be a good matchup there at Renaissance Coliseum.
Metamora with a 2-point edge at the break. John, Washington got out to a hot start, led by as many as 4 there for a little bit, but then Metamora really finished the second half strong, or first half strong, I should say. What were your takeaways?
Yeah, we talked about him going into the game, that Drew Tucker was going to be a big piece for this Metamora Redbirds team tonight. 9 points at halftime. Zach Schroeder, another guy that's really been a catalyst for this team all season long, 8 points. And then Ethan Kaiser, a big dunk there and a 3-pointer to chip in 5. Metamora really sound offensively. I thought defensively for the Redbirds was their strong suit. Forced 3 5-second calls on Metamora, able to kind of switch the pace there from Washington, as Washington was turning over Metamora early. Metamora was able to reverse that and start forcing turnovers on Washington. I thought they did a really good job defensively, but Washington still right here in this game, only down 2, as Isaac Mapson and Drew Lewis did a really good job to pace the Panthers.
Keys to the second half, pick one for both sides.
I think keys for second half for Metamora is gonna be that defense again, and then also controlling the offensive board. So I guess it'll be a 2-part there for Washington. It's got to be limit turnovers and try to space the floor there and start going back to your strong suit, which is shooting the threes.
The Redbirds will start the second half with the basketball and a 2-point lead. A win means Metamora takes home the Mid-Illini Conference title. Washington trying to spoil that. They're in second. They've still got a chance to tie for that conference championship. Zobrist had an open 3 but dropped the pass. Swanson over to Tucker. Now Kaiser from way downtown, in and out.
He wanted to start the second half off with a bang, almost able to get that one to drop. Just bounces around the rim.
Mapson had a big first half. Going to work on Kaiser. Can't finish. Fights for the offensive rebound, but he was on the baseline, so it's going the other way.
Just couldn't get his foot in bounds there, but great extra effort there from Mapson. Able to fight for that one. Almost grabs the offensive board.
Panthers bringing a little bit of full court pressure. Tucker picked up by Winfrey. And nearly a turnover. Tucker, an open 3, in and out. Rebound to Stewart. It's one area of his game that he's really improved over the last few weeks. Stewart over to Coker. Lost the handle. Fights to get it back into the hands of Mapson. Good ball movement. It's White with it now. Charges downhill, not enough touch.
Metamora's defense still applying a lot of pressure on Washington. Washington's had to force a couple tough shots.
Zobrist in and out. Metamora's taken 3 threes in the third quarter, and they've all rimmed out. They are that close to having a double-digit advantage.
Yeah, you can see they really want to extend that lead here. Shot a couple early threes.
Couldn't be easier for Isaac Mapson, who finds double figures with that second chance bucket.
Talked about Metamora too with the rebounding battle, but Mapson really owning the boards right now.
Here comes Lewis in traffic. Oh, what a move!
We've seen some flashy plays out of Drew Lewis over the last 2 seasons, but more so that one really kind of took the crowd by surprise.
Lewis with 9. Washington with a 2-point lead. Swanson fades and can't hit.
Now Washington making it tough on Metamora. Those shots inside. A nice 4-0 run here for the Panthers to open this third quarter.
Mapson on the perimeter. Now it's Stewart. Back to Lewis. Mapson drives baseline, and he was fouled by Kaiser.
Now Mapson really trying to assert his dominance on Kaiser.
Lewis double teamed, passes out of it, almost a turnover. And it is, eventually. Swanson off to the races. The hesitation move, wide open at the bucket, and it rolls over the rim.
Talked about flashy plays from Drew Lewis. How about that one for Tyson Swanson, able to cut it inside there and finish with the left hand.
That's just his first bucket of the night after scoring 30 his last game. Knotted up at 26. Panthers fighting to get that lead back. They led for much of the first quarter, before Metamora led for most of the second quarter. Lewis double teamed again near half court. Got it to Mapson. Fades away, can't hit the jumper. White sticks it back, in and out.
You can see on those last 2 plays defensively for Metamora, Kaiser almost a pick from Coker, where he elected not to pass and then almost swoops in and get that. He wants another big dunk.
Schroeder fouled. That's the first of the half on Washington. And it will be on Coker. That takes us to our next TV timeout. I'll step aside for a moment for a quick word from Uftra.
If you think you'll never find the car or truck you really want, think again. We'll find it at every Upstring location. New inventory is in stock and arriving every day. Plus, lock in your record low interest rate and get more for your trade. It's easy to find it and drive it at every Upstring Auto Group dealer.
Washington versus Metamora on ClutchSportsIL.com is brought to you by Jake Weston State Farm in Washington. For all your insurance needs, home, auto, life, you name it. Visit Jake online at JakeWestonInsurance.com or give him a call at 309-444-4441. It's Jake Weston State Farm. Also brought to you by Keps at 313 Muller Road in Washington. Watch all the big games on their flat screen TVs. Super Bowl's coming up. That'd be a great place to watch. To get your table, give them a call at 309-444-1974. Out of our first second half break, we're all knotted up at 26. Metamora led at the half and can capture the Mid-Illini Conference title with a victory. If Washington wins, they still have a chance to tie for the conference title. Isaac Mapson of the Panthers leading all scorers with 10 points. Metamora sets up the offense. Tyson Swanson going to work on Mapson. Zobrist, rhythm 3 is off. Schroeder, the offensive rebound and the spin cycle for 2.
How about that finish by Schroeder? Able to put Metamora back on top. Great move inside after the miss from Zobrist.
Schroeder up to 10 and Lewis turns it over. Mason comes in for Metamora, sends Zobrist to the bench. Tyler Mason, just a sophomore. Metamora with a lot of young talent.
Tyler Mason, 25 points in the JV game, and their win over Washington 46-32, so another good upcoming talent.
Long night for those fellas who are playing both games. Washington also has a few. Braden Vanderheit named Kaiser from deep, in and out.
Another good look, just rims out again.
Panthers could regain the lead with a 3 or tie it with a 2. Stewart looking for Coker, doesn't have him. Jamari White back to Drew Lewis. 3-year varsity starter for the Panthers. Directs traffic. Lewis, open mid-range, is off. Rebound to Mason. Swanson, jab step, deep ball, no. Rebound to Mapson.
Metamora really turning the pressure up on defense.
Look at Mapson's spin move, but nothing to show for it.
Kaiser able to get his hand in there, contest.
Schroeder passes out of the post. Kaiser thought about the 3. Schroeder, elbow jumper is pure. Zach Schroeder putting on a show. He's got 12. That's a game high.
Schroeder really heating up for the Redbirds.
Can really do it all. Score at every level. So can Drew Lewis. He holds the rock. Now dribbles backwards, as the Metamora student section lets you know. The classic bounce, bounce, pass routine. Mapson on the interior and one. Washington needed that, and Mapson delivers.
Great move inside for Mapson, able to finish with the left hand. Washington could cut it to 1 here with the free throw.
Mapson's free throw goes down. Shooting 50% from the floor this season. Mapson, one of the better players in the area. Perhaps the best, according to Washington head coach Eric Schermerhorn. Zach Schroeder passes out to Mason, back to Schroeder. Schroeder on a mission, 2 more.
No denying him around the basket.
Jamari White's response is too strong. The Redbirds want to hold for the final shot.
I think they will.
Schroeder from 16 again.
Why hold for the last shot when he's feeling it?
Zach Schroeder with 16. Stewart has 7. Panthers trying to end a run before the end of the 3rd. Lewis needs to get a shot off. He does, and can't hit. Metamora defending home court through 3 quarters. It's 34-29.
Zach Schroeder really feeling it there. Some nice jumpers. Able to get that big one there at the tail end of the 3rd quarter. And Larry, you got to think the momentum's with Metamora right now here at home.
Nice presentation of the Mid-Illini Conference on Clutch Sports Media is brought to you by Jake Weston State Farm in Washington. That's right, Jake from State Farm, like a good neighbor. Jake Weston is there. Visit him online at jakewestoninsurance.com or give him a call at 309-444-4441. And also Kep's Sports Bar and Grill over in Washington. Pay them a visit at 313 Muller Road. Great atmosphere, even better food, and a family-oriented environment. Try their fried pickles next time you drop by. Metamora 34, Washington as we enter the final 8 minutes of regulation. Both student sections are fired up. Washington in camo, Metamora in white. Interesting theme choices tonight. Metamora looking for a Mid-Illini Conference title. If they win tonight, they capture at least, if they win tonight, they win the title outright. If Washington wins, they've got a chance for a share of the title.
You know, this fourth quarter is going to be really good.
Here's Lewis, over to Coker. Coker trying to get on the scoreboard, and he does. What a time for your first bucket. Trims it down to 2.
It's a clutch 3 there from the senior, able to cut it to 3. We've seen Washington this whole season. They don't want to go down without a fight.
Swanson can't respond. Lewis the board. Lewis, full head of steam. Panthers reset. Lewis at the control. One of the best playmakers in the entire area, averaging 4 assists per game, double team. Now it's back to Lewis. Mapson draws the defensive switch. Loses the handle, gets it back, and he's called for the charge. Eric Schermerhorn can't believe it on the Washington sideline.
Not happy with that call whatsoever.
That's just Mapson's first, team's second. This one's had a good flow to it, especially in the second half. It's flying by. Kaiser dishes to the corner, Mason. Back out Schroeder, the leader of this Redbird squad, drives and kicks. Kaiser, triple, yes!
Able to bury that one over Drew Lewis. Kaiser up to 8 points.
Kaiser, who's battled adversity all year, caught a midseason case of pneumonia and lost 12 pounds. He's healthy now, helping this Redbirds team to a #1 overall seed in their subsectional. Trying to play for the Mid-Illini Conference title tonight. Mapson backs down Kaiser. Back out Coker. He can't stay hot. Mapson puts it back.
How about that move from Mapson, able to get past his defender, get the offensive board, put it in. Just like that, Washington gets it to 3 again.
Mapson with 15. Schroeder lost it, and it's going the other way.
I think that was the turnover that Washington was hoping for. After Schroeder's been on a tear there in that third quarter, they were trying to limit his shot.
Drew Lewis sets it up. Panthers can time with a 3. Lewis lost it. Coker takes it back up. Mapson gets by Kaiser and he's blocked.
Huge block there from Kaiser. Big defensive effort from the junior.
Redbirds trying to extend that lead once again. Coming down to crunch time in Metamora. Schroeder along 2, too much. Rebound to Stewart. Coker for the tie. No, Mapson there again.
Mapson right there.
Isaac Mapson, so many second chance points. He's got 17.
He was a guy that we keyed in on before this game started, and he is really answering the call.
Mapson, game high point total with 17. Kaiser fades, can't hit, rebound to White. Panthers can take the lead with any field goal.
Maybe not the shot Metamora was looking for there, but a heat check from Kaiser. It's a big opportunity for Washington.
Lewis dances on the dribble, spins and drops it in. Panthers back in front.
The defense almost knows that's coming. That spin move has been so effective for Drew Lewis this season. It works near perfection every time.
Timeout, Metamora, as Washington pulls ahead with a 6-0 run. And Danny Greaves, Metamora head coach, told me explicitly, he said, we just can't let Drew Lewis get downhill with a head of steam because he's pretty good. And you know when Danny Greaves is complimenting the opposition, that's how you know you're pretty good.
Yeah, especially when you compliment your rival Washington. But Larry, it's true. We've seen Washington play so many times this season, and that spin move has been so effective late in games where Drew Lewis really, like you said, goes full head of steam and tries to take over these games late. And if you're Metamora now in this timeout, you're trying to do everything you can offensively and defensively to try to eliminate what happened last time these two teams met, and Washington came back late.
We'll step aside for a quick word from Updrain.
If you think you'll never find the car or truck you really want, think again. We'll find it so you can drive it at every Uptrain Auto Group dealer. And this month, your tax refund is your down payment. It's easy to find it and drive it at every Uptrain Auto Group dealer.
Welcome back to Metamora. Tonight's basketball game is brought to you by Jake Weston Insurance over in Washington. Visit him online at jakewestoninsurance.com or give him a call for all your insurance needs, 309-444-4441. Also brought to you by Keps in Washington, 313 Muller Road. Give them a call at 309-444-1974 to get a reservation. Panthers just took their lead with a 6-0 run, capped off by a Drew Lewis bucket. First lead of the fourth quarter from the Panthers, and off the inbounds, Metamora's gonna have to try it again as Isaac Mapson sent that thing sailing, rows deep.
A couple of 5-6 rows up to the bleachers there.
Schroeder playing catch with Swanson.
A little bit of hot potato here with Metamora, back and forth.
Swanson has position and finishes. The Redbirds pull back ahead.
Only his fourth point of the game, Swanson, but that was a crucial one.
Mapson draws a foul. That one's called against Swanson. That's his third personal, just the third foul of the half on Metamora. Coker. Mapson drives baseline, gets knocked off his feet, but found White.
Able to save that ball.
Mapson, the floater, too much. Second chance, hook shot, rolls in.
How about another just unbelievable offensive rebound from Mapson, able to put it in through contact once again.
White called for the foul there. That's his first, rather his third. Big difference there. Just the third team foul against the Panthers here in the half.
Crunch time now for both sides. Washington clings to that 1-point lead.
Swanson almost lost the handle. Zobrist over to Schroeder. Around a screen from Swanson. Kaiser, got it!
Big three for Kaiser. His 11th point of the game.
Drew Lewis from 14, dial that one up. And we are tied.
Larry, shades of the first time these two teams met. Another one going down to the wire.
Under 90 seconds to go. Tell your friends, tune in.
not want to miss this ending.
Kaiser, how about another one?
Ethan Kaiser, back-to-back triples.
Lewis called for the charge, and he can't believe it.
Costly turnover there for Washington. Metamora's got to be happy with that call.
Timeout, Washington. Trailing by 3 on the road with a minute to go.
I mean, that was the biggest three of the game right there from Kaiser. Followed it up after his three before that. Metamora really wants to come out here and take this one at home and earn that Mid-Illini Conference title.
John, what's the message for Eric Schermerhorn?
Well, before you foul, you still got a minute and 3. You got to force a turnover. You don't want to get Metamora inside for any more baskets. I think ultimately they could try to seal it there on the other end. So if you're Washington, let's see if they apply that full court pressure, get a takeaway.
Schroeder inbounds to Zobrist. Zobrist and Schroeder got to hurry up, and they do. Tucker with it. Stewart trying to foul, and Zobrist is fouled. Lots of fouls to give for the Panthers. That's just their 5th team. Braden Vanderheit comes in. Drew Lewis comes out, as does White. Brewer in for White.
See if Washington fouls quick, they have fouls to give, or if they try to strip it away.
Look at Brewer, but he lost it in the corner.
Great effort, though. Can't be mad at that defensive effort. Just couldn't corral it.
Metamora has to go the length of the floor again. Timeout, Redbirds.
So not a bad thing if you're Washington, Micah Brewer, not able to get the takeaway, but you put Metamora in another situation where they have to go the length of the court. Gives the Panthers a chance to really apply that full court pressure, try to get a trap and force a turnover.
If you're Metamora coming down the stretch of this one, who do you want to take your free throws? Should you get to that point, Washington with just 5 team fouls still.
Gotta like sending Tyson Swanson a line where he's been really solid all year. Zach Schroeder's been dialed in tonight. Ethan Kaiser, if it's in his hands, Larry, you could say all 5 guys on the floor right now, even Michael Zober, or I should say Matthew Zober's the freshman. He's knocked down a pair tonight as well. So if I'm Coach Danny Greaves, I'm confident with whoever's touching the ball.
Schroeder needs to hurry. It's Zobrist. And it's picked off by Mapson. Mapson right to the bucket, and he's fouled.
Not the play you wanted if you're Metamora. And that's a quick turnover. Not a whole lot of time off the clock there. And Mapson, who's been good at the stripe, a chance for 2.
Mapson can't hit the first. Needs this second one. The Panthers down by 3. He goes 0 for 2, and Schroeder hauls in the board. John, those are some critical misses. And now Schroeder goes to the line for the bonus.
Yeah, Schroeder, chance to really make it tough on Washington if he can make both.
The officials is going to go to the table. I think they're checking the foul count against Washington. It jumped up pretty suddenly, John. First I looked and it was 6. And then I looked back at the scoreboard and there were 9 fouls on the board, and now they fix it. It is just 6 team fouls against the Panthers. So no bonus free throw for Schroeder yet. Which
that really changes the tape. Now Washington can try to force another turnover here, get the ball back. So maybe they feel a little better about this play as opposed to some free throws.
Hard foul as Tucker gets up gingerly, and now he'll go to the free throw line. He was fouled by White. That's White's 4th.
See if Drew Tucker can knock these down, but if he does, Washington playing with a little desperation. Only 33 seconds left.
Tucker's first, can't get the bounce. Panthers with plenty of time, down by 3. Lewis turns it over. Timeout called by Metamora as they got possession. Or rather, a foul called against Washington. That one's against White, his 5th. John, it didn't look like anybody had possession there.
No, it didn't. Almost thought we were going to get a jump ball at the tie-up. Was that called on Coker on the floor? Or?
On White.
On White.
So he's done. 5 fouls for White.
He's going to come out here after this discussion with the official and Schumerhorn.
Pardon the noise. Crowd might get knocked down. Now White will come out of the game. And Brewer will come in for him. Panthers going with 3-point shooters. Free throw short. And a foul called against Metamora on the rebound.
Is that on Mason, yeah? So that kind of changes the...
Or rather, against Mason. He was fouled. That foul on Mapson. First free throw, bounces off the rim, rebound volleyballed into the hands of Mapson.
Larry, we talked about free throws being critical. 2 big misses from Metamora.
Timeout taken by the Panthers.
And Larry, if we have to come up with a situation here, we've seen Mario White at Morton with that big 3 that gave him a buzzer-beating win. We've seen Jake Stewart last game against Metamora when they played in the first meeting, a win at the buzzer. So Washington's used to these situations.
Cardiac Panthers, you could call them, perhaps. Down by 3 here with 17.9. So, John, you've got a multitude of options here. Try to get a quick bucket, whether that's a 3 or a 2. Or you can hold for the remainder of regulation. Try your chances at a game-tying 3 to send it to overtime on the road. What's your choice?
If I'm Washington, looking back at those 2 situations when they had the game-winning 3s, it was more of a desperation situation where they're driving the length of the floor and then got a set shot for a 3. I'm liking Washington to play for 2 here to get inside, because Metamora just went 0 for 2 here on their free throws on the opposite end. That gives you a chance if you can cut the lead to 1. Metamora potential miss on this end, then you have the length of the floor to go to potentially win the game. But it also creates a situation where Washington can get inside, get a layup, and get a foul, which we've seen throughout this game. So you got a multitude of options. We'll see if Schumerhorn elects to go for a 3 here to tie with 17 seconds.
Metamora hangs on. They win the conference title. Coker Looking for options on the inbounds, gets it in, and it's tipped out off of Metamora.
Just a sigh of relief there from Coker. So take a deep breath because they couldn't get Mapson open, and Drew Lewis tightly guarded.
Coker will try again. Here's Mapson. Corner three, in and out. Rebound loose into the hands of Schroeder. And he's fouled. Mapson almost had the steal there, but instead Schroeder will go to the line with 8.9 to go.
And that
could really ice it.
Yeah, that was a tough shot from Isaac Mapson, but almost got that one to go.
2 free throws for Schroeder as Metamora has entered the double bonus. Schroeder has been the go-to guy tonight for Metamora. 16 points, 3-year starter. First free throw, nothing but nylon. The 4-point lead, and this crowd can start to taste it. Timeout, Metamora.
Big free throw there from Schroeder. Able to silence the Washington student section a little bit, but this one could really do it here for the Redbirds and help them win that Mid-Illini conference.
And John, Washington really had so many chances off of those Metamora free throw misses. They did not make many free throws at all in the 1-and-1 bonus. But now Schroeder finally gets that one in the double bonus to put the Redbirds ahead by 4.
That was big. Makes up for those 2 they missed, but when they really needed it here, Schroeder able to answer the call.
Schroeder's gonna have one more.
You could hear Danny Greaves yelling at his players after the break and the timeout, finish the game, finish it out. Something they had the opportunity of doing right here.
They couldn't finish on the road at Washington. They're in the driver's seat here at home. Playing for the conference title tonight. Schroeder 2 for 2. It's gonna take a small miracle for Washington. Mapson charges ahead. Pulls up for 3, got it. Timeout Washington. It's a 2-point game again. What a play from Isaac Mapson.
So a foul here on this next inbound, that changes the whole dynamic of this game, but a foul really isn't going to do it because if you foul, you take at least 0.5, 0.3 roughly off the clock. Metamora can go down here, even miss a free throw and the clock would still expire. So if you're Washington, got to get a steal off the inbounds ultimately.
The officials are going to add some time to the clock.
1.9 I hear. Larry still,
that gives you a little bit, but not much.
A little bit, but not a whole lot of breathing room. Obviously, Washington's thinking of a perfect world situation where they could get a steal off the inbounds and tie the game up with a layup. I would take a big defensive stand there. Metamora is just going to try to get open here on this one.
Going to need a steal and score if you're the Panthers. Trying to unseat Metamora as the top team in the conference. Metamora 11-1 in the Mid-Illini. They've won 10 straight. Washington 9-2 in the conference, and they've won 6 straight games.
So if you're Metamora, you just got to get the ball in, get it in the hands of somebody.
Mason will inbound with Kaiser, Schroeder, Tucker, and Swanson. Here's Kaiser. Fouled by Mapson, and it's an intentional foul.
In 0.6 seconds, so regardless of that foul, didn't leave Washington with a whole lot of time.
That will all but do it. Kaiser to put the icing on the cake. First one comes up short. Fans stand up everywhere. Kaiser makes the second. Look at him.
He's loving it. Able to get revenge on their rival. Going to take this one at home.
All the Redbirds need to do is inbound it, and it's over. And a foul called against Mapson. That's 5 against Mapson. Kaiser just tacking him on now.
Not that they really needed any breathing room, but he's adding it for good measure.
Kaiser with 15, one of his best games all season. First is up and in.
Got it. It's a big one.
And that is it. The Metamora Redbirds are Mid-Illini Conference champions, and after 5 straight losses to their rival Washington, they get the last laugh here in the regular season.
Just a really good comeback win, I should say bounce back win for Metamora after losing to Washington the previous meeting. They were able to close it out at home tonight. What a phenomenal job by Zach Schroeder with 18 points, Ethan Kaiser with 17, and Ethan Kaiser ultimately powered these Redbirds with those late fourth quarter threes.
17 points for Kaiser, 18 points for Schroeder. The effort for Washington, John, not to be discounted. Mapson with 22 points, had some huge shots there down the stretch.
Yeah, it was really big. I mean, Metamora able to close the door. Washington coming back in that game. And you can see they're storming the floor now. But just anytime these two teams meet, it's always an electric atmosphere and great rival, and Metamora takes the upper hand tonight.
What a scene at the Tepke Gym. Yesterday, Metamora was rewarded the 1 seed in their subsectional, and today they're crowned Mid-Illini Conference champions. John, your final thoughts?
Yeah, I thought defensively Metamora did a nice job to stand their ground, and free throws really gave them some breathing room late. Washington, you got to give credit to them. Isaac Mapson really laid it all on the line out there. Had that 3 late to cut it to 2, but ultimately Ethan Kaiser able to seal it at the line. Just a great effort on both sides.
Metamora wins the Mid-Illini Conference with a 12-1 record. They've got one more game on Tuesday against Morton here at the Tepke Gym. And Washington falls to 9-3 in Mid-Illini Conference play. So far, our entire crew: Jonathan Michael at the controls, Rodrigo Perez behind our camera, Josh Schwam and Jacob Steinberg down on the baselines for our social media content team, and my partner John Camosa. This is Larry Larson saying so long and good night from Metamora. The Redbirds win the conference title with a 50-45 win. So long, everybody.